So if you have drug dealers living across the street, but his parents are really nice, what do? They're basically our favorite neighbors, mixed with cars pulling up constantly for like a minute and a half while he comes out and puts something in the window.
What would the police do anything?
I know he's been arrested a few times. We looked it up, and I've seen like DEA or something knocking on their door and parking up the street and then doing surveillance. But I don't know. Like, it's still happening. It's happening like all the time. I don't want to ruin the relationship with the parents, and they live directly across the street.
Well, the parents probably do they know what's going on?
They have to know, right?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but you got to think about whether that's like going to be safe for your kids, right?
Kids, yeah.
Isn't that's a thing, right?
It's always happened, but now if the kids are old enough to like, get around, and I don't know. Yeah,
and then he starts drawing the wrong kind of attention to himself and shit. Like that you could be like caught in the middle of something you don't want to be caught in the middle of, right?
You could get shot.
Well, I'm not going to go that far.
Are you afraid of gun violence?
We live in a good neighborhood. I don't know how violent or not violent.
We live in a good neighborhood with like open drug deals.
No. We're not like we're not in a gated community, but the house like 2 doors down is like a $500,000 house. But the rest of our houses are not like that. But it's like a decent neighborhood.
What's the worst area in where you live? In the city in which you live?
What they call the South Valley. Like south of the freeway.
It's no good, eh?
It's fine. It's just that's what they consider. That's where a lot of gang activity is. We're a very gang-rich city. We have a lot of culture there. I don't know.
My buddy's kind of in a like it's not as close, but his parents' house is kind of close to some pretty large marijuana dealers and stuff like that, and like we've seen them right there at the houses down the street, and the power grid fluctuates sometimes and bullshit like that. Yeah, then, like a little bit further down from that, there's been like a street where there's just been like. It looks like a really nice suburban community with nice houses and everything, pretty new construction. But for whatever reason, like that's where like there's a lot of gun violence there. It's not like one of the, I would say like one of the well-known dangerous parts of the city, but there's been a lot of shootings and things like that down the street and shit. So
not a place where you want to raise a family.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have a problem with weed. I have a problem with people honking in the middle of the night to get people to come out and things like that.
Yeah.
The element that it attracts.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what to do.
The unsavory type.
In a way, yeah. It's all like old people around here, and then there's one other house that just moved in that has a baby, and us.
Well, the baby must love the honking in the middle of the night.
Yeah, well, and they live right next door to him. But the kid's like 30, never had a job, dropped out of high school. We've lived here almost 10 years, and he's always just lived there with his folks. I don't know. Anyway.
Call the police.
And tell them what? Like, oh, we think something's going on. But then that ruins the relationship with the parents. And like, they dog sit for us. I house sit for them all the time.
Yeah, but it's not like you're gonna call and say, "Hey, this is Don."
No,
can you let them know that?
Yeah, the kid's got like 5 gun safes in his room, or not the big gun safes, like the little hotel safes.
Oh my god!
Just like scattered around the room. Anyway,
how do you know?
How do I know? Because I house it for them.
You just said that.
The dog. They have 3 pit bulls. They have 3 pit bulls.
Does he give you freebies, Don? Don, does he give you freebies? No. Okay.
I didn't.
Is that why you want to call? Is that why you want to call the police? Because he hasn't given you.
Yeah, he's not hooking me up. No. My cataracts ain't getting any better. I was just thinking of it because it was happening last night, and I just went out front, so made me think of it.
That's amazing.
You guys play any games? Oh,
I did.
Let's talk about. Oh, can you talk about? Can you talk about Ace of Seafood?
Sure.
As much as I can.
So you didn't put much time into it?
No, not at all.
Huh. What kind of game is it then? Maybe it's not what we thought it was.
No, it's pretty much exactly what I thought it was.
Oh,
It's just not fun. All it is just so from what I gather of like the 20 minutes I played, is that you choose like a type of fish at the beginning, and then you swim around and you shoot lasers or missiles or some shit at other fish, and you have to, what do they call it, like a reef. You have to
you have to control the reef.
Take over different reefs that are close by, and then just repeat. And reefs get stronger and have stronger fish around them, and so you have to recruit other fish or breed. There's like a breeding system thing. It was similar. You know how you were talking about Shadow Tactics today, and say like, it just seems like too much for what I want to put into it. Right?
Yeah.
Ace of Seafood's kind of like that, where just as soon as I got to this menu with like a whole bunch of different options, I was like, like I don't want.
It's not even done well. I think that's also adding to it, isn't it? I mean,
why is it sitting at
an 8? It's so clunky to move it, man.
But I think the reason why it's so high on Metacritic and people are giving it good reviews is not because it's fun. It's like, haha, Ace of Seafood, right? Like you know how like it's the same thing with B movies. We were talking about this like Sharknado and Rubber, this kind of movie. So even if they're shit, people attach to it because it's hilarious. Yeah, but it's bad, right? Like
that's too bad.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Is it first person or is it like a third person shooter?
Third.
Oh.
And it's awkward as hell to control.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Think of it. It's also like really low tier feeling. It feels like a fan made Japanese game. Like the menus aren't polished at all. There's a lag in moving your cursor around in the menus. Like it's just nothing's really explained. It's a terrible tutorial. Like I don't know. Just brought it over. We played it for a bit, and it was just.
And that's what I say too, right? Like you start it and you do some stuff, and like the tutorial was super janky, and I didn't really understand what I was doing. And then it just gives me this massive menu, and I just like I don't want to put in the effort to this.
Yeah,
and it's super sloppy. It's not like the shooting feels good. It's not like the shooting of missiles. Like it feels like worse than Panzer Dragoon, for crying out loud. Like, and it. To me, that's kind of a apt comparison because the graphics aren't any better than that. They might be a little bit better, but it's just, I don't know.
Outside of that, I played. There was a game in a Humble Bundle. I forget which one. Called Epistory Typing Chronicles. You guys see this?
Okay. No.
It's like it's kind of like
Are you writing this down, Kenan?
It's like an adventure game, kind of, where you play a girl riding a wolf and you go around a map, and then bad guys come out and you have to type words to kill them.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of like it's like typing
in the Dead. Yeah,
kind of like Typing in the Dead, only instead of like a light gun shooter, it's an adventure game.
It sounds neat.
Yeah, it was interesting enough. I played it for a few hours. I got pretty close to the end, and then I don't know whether I missed something or whether I have to like grind out a couple points to unlock the next part. Like I kind of come to a standstill, and I don't care enough about it to continue. But it was cool for the few hours I played. I mean, I paid $1 for it, right? So it was definitely worth $1. It might still be in one of the bundles, because I think I bought it when it was new.
I like when games kind of mix genres like that. Try something. Yeah. Take two old things and make something new out of them.
Yep, I agree 100%. I'll take a look at that and see what I can find. Okay. The other thing, though, and the thing that I've been putting most of my time in because it's got its hooks into me real bad, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is amazing. Like, I know it's old. It's really, really good. And it's funny because I got it for Wii U from the library once. And I played just like the first island. And I was like, I think the Wii U one is maybe a little slower, a little jankier. I got to the ship immediately and it didn't really feel right. And I don't know. It just didn't click the first time I played it. And so I got it for $10 from Beat Goes On, which was good. And I did the first opening part and I still wasn't into it. I got to the boat and I still wasn't into it. I was like, I'm going to force it because people talk pretty highly of it, right?
Yeah.
And once I got into it, holy, like the ship battles are amazing.
Yeah, ship battles are great.
Yeah, did you play through it?
I didn't finish it, but I did probably 12 hours or something, a decent amount. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really, really into it. The story is not super great. It's got that Assassin's Creed jank for running around.
Yeah.
But the ship battles are really good. Like I love going around the map and fighting guys I want to fight and using the eyeglass. What's that thing called?
Spyglass.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Like
so the spyglass.
Spyglass, yeah.
To check out like what the ships have and kind of the loot I'm going to get for attacking it. I like stopping at islands and checking out things. I like going whale fishing, like any of the stuff that it lets me do. I love all of it. I love every part of it.
Yeah, whale fishing is awesome. I forgot all about that.
The only thing I'd say about it is that I think I would be enjoying it more if it wasn't an Assassin's Creed game and all the Abstergo stuff was not in it.
But on that one, it was so goofy that I didn't mind it. It was kind of a waste of time, the Abstergo stuff, but at least it was kind of dorky, like, oh yeah, you're programming a video game, so go play test it.
I don't like any of it.
This is the one where it was like a social commentary on Ubisoft's like own practices or something. A lot of people.
I don't even pay attention to it. Like anytime it goes to Abstergo stuff, I tune out and follow arrows and listen to a podcast or something. Like that's all I can do to just get through it.
Yeah, you can kind of just skip through them, but it's pretty short too, right? They're like 10-minute chunks.
Yeah. And to be honest, I've done some of the story. But I've spent most of my time just sailing around and like collecting stuff and doing the little side things. Like that's good enough for me right now. Like I'll do story when I have to, and kind of if it's convenient for me. But I'm not stressing about it, and I'm put a ton of time into it. So I really enjoyed that this week.
That was the same way, like these cool little pirate islands, these little coves that you could kind of take over and explore, and
sometimes they're populated and sometimes they're not, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
So if you're looking for a game that's like 4 years old and everybody's already played, then jump in.
Oh, it's been free and cheap a couple times. Definitely one of the best games in the series. Cool. Kinnan? Or is that it, Chris? Or?
Yeah, that's all.
I don't mean to take over hosting duties. I was just filling in the dead.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can talk about one thing I played, but first I'm going to talk about one thing I canceled. So, this is 3 for 3 for me for EA games this year. Like, Mass Effect Andromeda I canceled because the quality was shit and game and graphics were broken when it was launching, and huge fan of that series. And then Need for Speed, like bad, boring story and crap loot boxes, and that made me cancel that one. And then now Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like, I just don't understand like what's going on over at EA. It's just shitty, short, single-player story, something that I was hoping would be like nice and ironed out, and all the whole loot box stuff. And I don't know, like
that's not where the money is, though, dude.
I was looking forward to 3 EA games and canceled all 3 of them. It's just,
but that's you. Like, it's crazy, but like we're niche now, right? Like, we are not any major income base for them.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're businesses. They have to make money.
Yeah. Anybody else I talk to is like, oh, Battlefield looks amazing. Battlefield? Is that what it is? Battlefield 2? Battlefront.
Look,
says it's amazing. I want to play it. I want to get into it. Like, there's a bunch of guys at work. It's like, I want to buy a PS4 so I can play this game. Like, you feel that way, and I feel that way. Most people don't give a shit and are going to drop a ton of money into like exactly what they want to do, right?
Sure. I like Battlefield. Like, I've been a huge DICE fan, like I said. Like, I played on like everything from Bad Company 2 all the way up until Battlefield last year, Battlefield 1.
So what you're saying is you're a real fan.
No, but I've enjoyed a lot of DICE's games, and like Mirror's Edge was a big thing for me too. Like, a lot of their stuff has been good. It's just I can't support this shit. Like it's just it's the way that they're doing their practices, what they're expecting out of people. It's just, and a lot of people just saying that it's just not fun to play. Like it's a triple whammy, man. Like I get it that there's a lot of people out there who are going to be enticed by the graphics and the overall sheen of the game, and a lot of people said that it's wonderful for that sort of thing, but I don't know. It's just I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers. It looks real weird to me. A lot of the stormtroopers and anybody with a helmet, the helmet looks huge on their bodies. It looks like they're all super deformed. There's something weird with the proportions or something with that.
Easy headshots.
I guess so.
Yeah. Do they have EA access for PS4? I don't think they do.
Is it a PC only thing? I don't know.
It's on Xbox One for sure. I think it's $5 a month. I did it for a year. It was $25 for a year at one point, and all those games you mentioned are on there. Oh, not Battlefront, right? Or no, the first 10 hours of Battlefront's on there too. That's right.
Yeah. Well, so I'd play all the stuff on PC anyway, so yeah, maybe that's a pretty good thought.
That's what I was gonna do, kind of after the holidays, and I kind of want something to play. I want to play Need for Speed and Battlefront for sure. But I'm not buying
at the same time, we talked about it recently. Like, do you need to play them? Because I got a billion games here to still go through.
That's what I mean. If I hit a lull, I pay the $5 for the month, play 10 hours of both those games, and
sure.
I'm done.
Yeah, that might be a good option.
I actually just got started playing Mass Effect Andromeda because it hit $20 a couple months ago, and I held back, and I just kept watching it. Every week it would go down like a quarter, and then it finally went up 3 cents. So I figured it bottomed out at $11. So once it went up 3 cents, I bought it, and I don't know. I've been having fun with it.
That's good. So the game that I've been spending the most time for the past week and a half or so has been Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. I thoroughly enjoying this game. It's got a protagonist who's older, falling apart, like struggling to do the best for his family, like who's dealing with some real shit in his life and like trying to, beat down Nazis, and it's fun in that way.
So like you minus the Nazis.
Sure.
Hey guys, sorry.
Hey Tim.
How's it going?
Tim's another guy dealing with the shit of life.
Broken
down, mumbling to yourself.
All you need is some Nazis, Keenan.
All I need is some Nazis. Are you saying I should move to the States?
Yeah, move south.
You have Nazis where you live, Don?
No. White is definitely the minority in this state.
But I mean, like that game's just, it's a world.
Are you a Nazi?
Nope. Why are people so divided on that game? Like a lot of people are.
I thought you were gonna say, why are people so divided on Nazis?
Yeah, what's the problem?
My thinking is the shooting isn't so great in that game, and I don't think it feels too good. There's a big gulf between the easiest setting and the normal mode, and I don't know. Like there should have been another tier between the two, and then they probably would have gotten a better score for it. I don't see what the big deal is. I think the story's been amazing. The atmosphere and world has been great. So I honestly don't understand where the mixed feelings for this game have been.
So it's too easy or it's too hard, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's where it is, but I don't know. Like, I
thought it was the story people were freaking out about. It's pretty R-rated, right?
Yeah. It starts off, and I don't know. Like the first game was pretty R-rated too. Like you got a lot of crazy crap happening in that first game. So they've been pretty consistent with their tone, I think. But yeah, that's the game that I'll be playing a lot. It's definitely going to make my top 5 games of 2017. I think it's just it's been amazing ride. So
Would you say it's been an action-packed thrill ride?
that's exactly what I would say. If I was
So-
selling it to.
Keenan, you played the first one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I remember the
You don't
first one
have
being,
to. There is a summary.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a
No, no,
summary
no.
at the beginning. So yeah,
right. No, I
it's a
meant
really well done one.
more from like a perspective of like a first-person shooter, right? Like that,
Sure.
like run and gun like thing that Doom captures. I mean, if you go back and compare the old games, they're sort of similar in a way, right? I mean, they're very much run and gun, and Doom
Doom's
captured that
different,
again,
though.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but Doom's different, right? Doom's about like managing your
Family.
area, jumping from. It's about family, like Fast and Furious is. But you're jumping from one guy to another, like trying to manage your ammo and kill guys a certain way to get more ammo back, right? There's a push and pull to that, right?
Yep.
I don't think Wolfenstein really has the same feeling of that. It's a lot more straight shooter. You're trying. Guys feel a bit bullet spongy, especially if you turn up the level. So it's a little bit less of the high impact velocity kind of moving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like the first one too. Like, it is a different, bit different style than Doom, but as long as it still has that, like, yeah, like it's not just like ducking around, like crouching and hiding behind shit and taking pot shots at people, right? Like it's
No, and it has the same system as the first one, where how you play, it'll level up your guy, right?
Oh,
It
yeah,
has that perk system where, like, if you did a bunch of stealth kills, then you would get more like faster speed crouching around and stuff. And if you did more headshot kills, then you do more damage. There's the whole game's based around that sort of thing. So yeah, I'd recommend it wholeheartedly. So that's it for me this week.
nice.
That was 25 on Black Friday, so I'm kind of tempted to check it out.
How much is Black Flag on Black Friday?
Black Flag. I think it's 40 or whatever, 30.
I don't think it's going to be 40 or 30.
I don't know if it's even on the spreadsheet. Somebody made a gigantic spreadsheet, and there's a whole tab for last gen.
Completely useless for Canadians.
Yeah, I know, but you asked.
Hey, you really think it's going to be that much?
No, I'm just saying it's not on sale. I'm kind of hoping that PSN kicks it into gear tomorrow and drops a big sale.
What was up with that pre Black Friday sale? It was a joke.
I don't know. Yeah, there was like 15 games, and they were like 20% off, which is better than nothing, but it's just going to piss off the guys that bought it last month or whatever, because they were all new games. Mostly sports, right? NBA and wrestling and stuff. I don't know. I was excited last week thinking that we'd get hit with a big sale because Microsoft did one, but nope.
Do you play anything this week, Don?
Yeah. I started playing Battle Chef Brigade today.
Oh, yeah.
Switch came out today on Steam and Switch, and it's pretty cool. Have you guys looked into it at all?
Yeah.
It's like Iron Chef meets side-scrolling action meets Puyo Pop. So like when you're cooking, you have a very small grid. I think it's maybe 5x5 that you're trying to make matches in, and with different ingredients. Each ingredient has like a different shape, but you have, like, let's say you have 4 minutes to cook a meal and you have to cook it to please a certain judge, but you also have to run out of the kitchen and like kill a bunch of animals and take their goods and then run back into the kitchen and cook with them in that same time frame. So like if the guy wants a water based meal like seafood, you got to run out, find some seafood, kill it, run back in. If your recipe isn't good enough, you got to do it again, and the whole time the clock is ticking. And then there's like a little city you can go in, and you can work in a kitchen and make kind of like Cook Serve Delicious. You're like cooking made to order recipes, but it does the puzzles in a different way. And there's another one, I forget, some lady owns a cat store. Oh, it teaches you combat because you can learn different moves when you're fighting to gain supplies. Like right now, I just got a double jump and like a uppercut whirlwind kind of thing. It's pretty cool, and the voice acting is really good. The art style is, they say it's like a Studio Ghibli, but it's not. It's more just like a Fist of the North Star anime kind of.
Yeah, they're
It's
a little
very
bit
much
more
up
like,
Chris's alley, and probably you guys too.
yeah.
It looks cool. Yeah.
It was on my radar for a long time, so I saw that came out today. But
Yeah,
man, that's great.
I was afraid it wouldn't work, but it's pretty fun, and it's $20 here. So if it was full price,
80 in Canada then.
Yeah, I know. If it was full price, it would not work. But for $20, it's been a home run.
How deep in the game are you right now? Like, I know
There's
you've
6
only had
chapters.
the day.
I'm in the 2nd chapter, so
Okay.
I've unlocking more and more equipment. I have enough equipment that I've filled all my slots and have to rotate stuff out. There's kind of a cool thing where you'll be cooking in one pot, and you can take it out of that pot and put it in a different pot. And some pots are better for green gems, let's say, another one for blue. So you're like making green matches here, then you pull it out and put it in the blue pot. I just figured that out. But the whole thing under the timer is like, makes you kind of anxious, you know?
Sure.
And it is
You
point
gotta
based.
go
There's
back
daily.
out. You got to go and kill things. It's not just collecting it. You actually have to go out and spend time to fight some of the monsters out
Yeah.
there. Right?
The last one, I wasn't paying attention to what I needed, and I needed dragon parts, but dragon is like a boss character, so I didn't bother fighting it. But my recipe was good enough to still beat my opponent.
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, definitely worth a look. Wii has had so many interesting games. It's crazy. They're really like, I'm finding myself dividing my time between different Wii games lately. Or not Wii. Why you calling it Wii? Switch. I went back into Zelda. I've been playing a lot of Zelda lately too. Breath of the Wild.
Cool.
Yeah,
I flipped Mario for $65 yesterday.
that's great. On what is
What?
Cold-hearted bastard, man.
Why?
you're not gonna play it?
Well, I'm not going to play it, and I paid like $50 for it.
But why? Wait, did you finish everything in it?
I finished everything I was going to finish.
Oh, because you were talking like you were so excited.
The end game is not strong.
No? That's disappointing.
Yeah, it is. I was all over it until I hit, like, there's a point where you hit and you just, I don't know, kind of all of my sales were deflated.
Like, did it not get hard enough for you? Is that why? Or
No, there's no incentive to continue after a certain point.
Yeah, it's a really far point though. I would say there's a lot of end game. It's just the end of the end game is not really worth it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
is it just that there's not things to get? Like, I don't get it. Like, what do you mean?
It's just you go through and you get more moons
Yeah.
for no reason, like just to do it.
Do anything. Yeah.
But that used to always be the way. Like, why did you get the stars in Mario 64? Just
Because
they were fun to
there wasn't 800 of them.
I was gonna say there's
Oh, that's why. So there's just so many.
190 moons or
Yeah,
something.
Not
and-
interesting.
And a lot of them are the same, right? Like it's go and do this on each of these, and do this on each of these, and do this 3 times. And I don't want to do the 3 times.
Right.
If they were all interesting, I'd be all over
and
it.
unique, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
That's
just
that's
weren't.
disappointing.
Yeah, but again, I don't want to make it seem like I'm disappointed with the game at all, because the game was amazing.
Cool. Oh, okay.
Like,
But just
the
like,
highs,
yeah,
the
yeah.
highs that game hits are done. Did you finish it?
Yeah.
So the end I thought was bananas, so good. And then the set piece at New Donk City that everybody just lose their mind over.
Yeah.
Totally justified. Like there's a couple of points in that game where it's impossible not to get like super giddy. Like it gets real good in a couple points.
It's a great game for like 50 hours. And then if you want to play it another 30 hours, you can, but there's just not much. I mean, it's just playing Mario levels. If you want to play more Mario levels, you can.
Yeah. And so I just found that after a couple of weeks, I hadn't touched it, and that tells me it's time to go.
Yeah, you have a good point. I haven't played it in a week or two. I wish they would add something like Zelda did with the DLC, or like the quests come in. And it's like, oh, here's a different kind of quest I haven't done. So like, oh, here's a new area or here's, find moons in this pattern which you haven't done before.
I think that's a door I never want to open.
No?
No, even having like Zelda, I'm not a huge fan of.
I think the goal for developers in that sense is to keep people from selling their games, to drive down the used market so more people are buying the game new because it's not available.
Make a proper end game.
Well, this game has a proper end game. It's just I mean, you're still, the 600 moons is a lot of fun, and that's a ton of moons. The first game was what, or 64 was what, 120 moons or something?
120, yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't take 60 hours or whatever.
Again, I don't want to say that like it was a disappointing game by any means at all. Like it was something else, right?
Yeah.
That's all.
When are you gonna play it, Tim?
Maybe next year at some point. We'll see. I don't know. Got lots of other stuff on the horizon. I'm not super anxious to play it yet.
I was kind of talking to Chris about that this week because there's a bunch of Xbox and PS4 games I just don't see myself ever touching. So I started going through them. And even if I got to, in 2 years from now, I want to play Prey. Well, I probably won't because there will be another pile of other games I picked up in the next 2 years.
And to be honest, you could rebuy Play for $10 if you want then.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. Yeah. You gave me a new perspective where I should just kind of cut and run. There's no reason to keep stuff around.
No.
Actually, I think I kind of built that off of Tim.
Nice. Influencing you guys is pretty sweet. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, let go of my my worldly desires.
Man, I'm like a monk or something. Man.
I'm getting ready to leave my family for Tim.
Oh shit! Sweet. We'll be fishing buddies.
That's the mountains.
I wanted to say no, nothing.
I know what you wanted to say.
Terrible.
Everyone who listens to this knows what you wanted to say.
So your fishing game comes out tomorrow, right?
Well, Tim, here
3 a.m.
What's your? Tell me what's what'd you play this week? Anything?
Just one new game essentially. It was just a Steam game that I saw was on sale, which you guys might have heard of. Teleglitch. It's like imagine Resident Evil 1
as a roguelike.
From an overhead position as a roguelike, but a little bit of Doom thrown in. It was like $3. It's hard as hell too. It's got really good shooting mechanics. It's very tactical. It's cool. But you can see through the randomness a little bit. Like it's very much that the rooms, you see the same rooms over and over, but they're kind of like reorganized, like to make a map. So like some doors won't have exits, or they'll have stuff in front of them. So you can tell that if the room was in a different position, there would have been a door there. So it's sort of a little bit obvious how it's constructed, but the actual like depth of the game, like it's you don't see these types of games that get like, usually these types of games end up being too easy for various reasons, but this one, the enemy AI is all very distinct, and it feels like there's a lot of nuance to how you fight certain enemies, and then when they throw different combinations of enemies at you, you have to like really watch your crowd control. You got to pick the right weapon to use on the right enemy. Like it gets into that kind of depth, which is pretty cool. Like I can see myself putting a little bit more time into it to try and finish it, but apparently it is quite hard, and I didn't make it too far before I got destroyed a few times. So I don't know. We'll see if it gets really just too hard that I have to just like become a savant to actually beat it. I don't know, but so far
does it have PS1 graphics?
Yeah, it's got like a
sort of that then.
Yeah. It's very minimalistic sound design too, but it works for it. Like it's got some really good lighting in the environments. I think it's whatever lighting engine they're using is quite cool. Like it's neat. It's really cool. It's for that price. No,
a glowing review. It's neat.
It's good.
It's all right. It's too hard to play.
It doesn't. There's nothing really that similar to it, which it says a lot about it. Like it's doing its own thing, and anyone interested in that combination of games, check it out. And then I played a bit of Don't Starve Together and Don't Starve with a friend of mine. pretty fun to play with another person. It's kind of, I think I said last week that I mentioned that I played it. It's sort of a survival game. Tim Burton-y looking characters. It's got
that turned me off.
It does.
I'm not into that.
It grows on you, but you're right. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I didn't pick it up. It got cheap enough where I was like, see if it can scratch that itch. And it has. I mean, it's a little unfair. Like, there definitely be things where you just do it without knowing what's going to happen, and you'll probably die from it. But it's one of those ones you keep going back. There's enough randomness to like the game where you'll find certain things earlier than you would normally, like certain recipes or things. So you can, like, depending on how things are laid out or where the resources you've found or what order you've got things in, like, you can approach things a bit differently. It's not this running through the same order and the same tech tree every single time. And when you're playing with another person, it gets even more fun because you're like dividing and conquering a little bit, like, and you're always you most of the time you're separate. And then at night, you usually want to come to the same spot to like be around the light, because the main mechanic of the game is that if you're in the dark for more than like 5 seconds, you'll die. Like something comes out of the dark and kills you. So you have to have light at night so that you don't die. And there's a few other things that can kill you a little less quickly, like hunger and sanity have different mechanics to it too. But it's cool. I can see why it's really popular. And the co-op, just like, you can do more than, it's not just 2 players. It can be like, I don't know, like 10 on one server. It's pretty cool. So
Did you get to the part where you build a helicopter?
I was about to do the same thing. I almost did it too.
All right, I'll fix that, even though.
No, there's nothing you do. Don't Starve was cool, but I played it around the same time as Crashlands, and I like Crashlands a lot more.
Crashlands. I heard the name of that. But is it a survival type game as well? Like similar kind of idea?
It's very much like
Super similar. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I agree. I like Crashlands better too.
Look into it.
If you're
Is it
looking
co-op
for
or single player?
single player,
I think it's single. I played it on my phone, so I don't know. But you probably own it. I think it's been in a couple Humble Bundles.
Oh yeah, it does very much look like it's got that kind of Flash-esque look to it too.
Yeah, that's a great game. I played a little bit of Flame in the Flood this week, and I always thought that was the same thing as Don't Starve, because the art looked similar to me as far as the logo.
Oh, isn't that the one where you're on a river?
Yeah, you just need to survive as long as you can. But yeah, a lot of it's river based. So you're going from island to island. It's pretty cool, but the art is way different than Don't Starve. And it's hard as hell. I don't know how to attack. And like basically a boar. Once I got to an island with a boar, it just kept ramming into me, and I couldn't figure out what to do. And moved on.
Yeah, what mechanics where that is like games that do that, where it hits you with something and it just like you're expected to just die from it. It'd be okay if you learned something about how to avoid it for the next time. But if it's like I have no idea why I died or how or what I can do to prevent it from happening again, I'm done. Like
it doesn't teach you how to attack anything. And I was pushing all the buttons. It shows you how to scare away a crow. Like you wave your arms. So I kept doing that, and the boar didn't care. So I got gored to death.
The boar didn't give a shit about you waving your arms.
Oh.
No.
And I had a dog with me too. The dog never attacked the boar.
Oh, that's disappointing. Weird. So it's some other thing.
Yeah, it seemed cool, but then I felt stuck. So
yeah. All right. But yeah, it was all for me. Just looking forward to. So the question is for me: Do I stay up till 3 a.m. to try the game for like 30
I
minutes?
am in the same boat.
Yeah, it's
set an
pretty.
alarm.
Yeah.
Go sleep for a couple hours.
A late night fishing trip, right?
And you know what did it for me? To
What?
be honest, like I was into it. I was fine. I really want to play this game. I think it's okay. So we're talking about Monster of the Deep now. just to be clear. But the thing that really sold it for me was that theme, the pre-order theme. Holy,
Great.
Like it gives me more of a vibe of what the game is going to like, the game feel, right?
Mhm.
There's this really mellow guitar track that comes along with a theme that I presume is fishing music in the game.
Yeah, maybe.
It's real good.
It reminded me of
real good.
Yeah, and it reminded me of like the village music from Monster Hunter Tri a bit. Like it had this has this laid back feel to it.
Like a laid back fishing feel to it.
Yeah, I just put it on and just left it on.
If you're
Oh, yeah,
interested in
dinner.
you're interested in hearing this, you can check it out on YouTube, or you can wait till the end of the show because it's going to be outro music for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's great.
Is it
Fall
VR
asleep to
only?
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, all in. If you're gonna
Yeah.
do it right.
Well, it says on Destructoid, the review says PS4, and then in brackets, reviewed with PlayStation VR. So that
Oh, maybe
makes
it
it
is
sound
then.
like it's both.
Maybe it is. I don't know. As far as
Weird, I
I'm
don't know how to
concerned,
do
it's only in VR.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you
Now,
guys have it.
If this is the thing, Chris, that I don't think it'll happen, but I wish it would. If I theoretically like play this at 3 a.m, it should be 3 a.m. in the game. Like it should be night fishing when I
Do
when
you
I
know?
log
Do
in.
you know the reason they won't?
Why?
Is because then you would never be able to catch daytime fish. You would never. It's the same like this. The Animal Crossing problem, right? Like you have
Yeah,
to
I know.
make time to get there, and
That's
it's
true.
a lot easier to do an Animal Crossing than it is on PSVR.
Right. True.
But I hear you. I think the vibe is different if it's real time, right? Like
Mhm.
part of what I love about Animal Crossing, like when I play at nighttime, it's time to go to bed. You know what I mean? Things are quieter, the music's quieter, things are kind of settled in for the night. Like I love that vibe.
I bet there is a night. There's got to be a night mechanic in it, though. I'm sure.
Oh
that
yeah,
they could-
absolutely there will be. I say
Because
that much
there's
there
seen
not be. Yeah. I can't see they're not. I mean, but that's kind of like a staple of fishing games too, right? It's like different times, different seasons, this kind of stuff.
Locations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
I'm
good.
really, really excited for it.
It's cool. Like I and then December 1st, Doom VFR is coming out. I'm pretty excited for that. So there's a couple good AAA games like Skyrim. I briefly thought about it and I was like, no, but
Well, and you had said like I want to play it, but I know I'd play it for 2 hours and then put it aside.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah.
I think that I would be exactly the same way. But from
yeah.
what people are saying on the internet, it's really, really fun though. Like
Yeah,
super
yeah.
immersive. There's stories of people
Mhm.
saying like, I sat down just to try it out,
Yeah.
and then I woke up 8 hours later.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. We'll
Like,
see. I don't know. If
and I-
you know,
Uh-huh.
if this wasn't coming out today and Doom wasn't coming out and there was nothing on the horizon, I probably would have picked it up.
I may have done the same. I thought a lot about it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
The thing about it is that has there been a game that's open world like this yet for VR? Like,
No.
I think the big thing that a lot of people are talking about is like I can use my hands to cast magic, and when I look behind me, I can look and see what's behind me. Like it's not so much like I'm in one spot or I'm on a rail or I'm in a house. Like I am in a world, right?
Mhm.
And I don't think we've had anything like that for VR quite yet. Like there's a lot of people talk about how, I need to take a break after the first hour because I felt like I was going to barf. And then you kind of get your legs and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
When it's not teleporting, right?
There's two different mechanics for Skyrim VR, I believe. There's one that's a teleportation one, and the other one's just like a motion one where you can use the move controllers. People like that better, apparently. There's some
like
cool stories though. Like
Course
people,
better than teleport.
What's better than
people were,
teleport?
Everything.
Okay.
Doom has both, I think, too. Both mechanics. I can't remember, but yeah, there's hilarious stories though about like people saying like, using the shield to block arrows and that feels really good, or like there's mostly videos I watch of people like punching the shit out of everything, like rapid fire punching, and it's like so overpowered. Like the devs didn't consider that. Like I guess you can flail your arms like a madman and just like punch the crap out of everything.
But it gives me vibes of that Kinect game. What's that horror game for Kinect? What's that game called? Rise of Nightmares.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Me specifically, and you watching me play it.
Yeah, I lose my mind. Like that game, I think the only time I ever played it was that night, but it was totally worth price of admission.
Yeah, it was good. Were people firing a million arrows? Like you can't fire arrows that quickly in Skyrim normally, apparently, but with VR you can because of the mechanics. So people are like rapid fire, like machine gunning arrows into things.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I would like to try it, but like for full price game, and I mean, how old is like Skyrim's what, like 4 or 5 years? Is it 6 years old?
11, 11, 11.
And so that's a hard sell to pay $90 for a game that came out at 7.
And a minor thing, but the sound isn't like directional apparently, really, or something, or it's binaural or whatever, so you're not getting
Imagine
that,
the work. Imagine the work that would go into like putting that into that game though, if it wasn't there originally.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Not to say that it wouldn't enhance the experience, but
It'll drop quick. Why else do they put it out
probably.
at 60? After the holidays, it'll be down to 40, and then
I have
eventually.
I have some real big news if you're a Switch owner that maybe you want to jump in on a previously released game. You guys remember Super Bomberman R got an update a few months ago that added like Pyramid Head and Vic Viper and a bunch of other characters. They changed how you earn gems to unlock stuff. They changed a bunch of stuff in it. It made it a lot better than what it was at launch. So there's another update came out this week, and they added 2 new game modes. They added Grand Prix mode and some crystal thing. Like there's a whole bunch of different like game stuff that you can do now. And they added 10 new playable characters.
Whoa,
can I read these off?
Yeah.
This is nuts. So you can be, because it's all Konami franchises, so you can be Dracula from Castlevania.
Cool.
You can be Jehudi from Zone of the Enders. You can be Goemon Mystical Ninja.
Awesome.
Those are the normal ones, all right?
Oh.
So Reiko from Rumble Roses. You guys remember that game?
Yeah.
Shiori Fujisaki from Tokimeki Memorial. There's a pair of bombers with like Gradius options for heads. And you can be Princess Tomato from, you guys remember Princess Tomato in the Sour
Wow, Kingdom. Yeah.
And then there's Bubbleheads from Silent Hill.
Wow.
Weird.
What?
Do these characters just cosmetic or?
No, and at least the other ones had like special attacks for each of the characters. So I'm assuming that these all have specials too.
That's cool.
Which is crazy. Like here's a free
Weird
patch.
that they're supporting it. Like, yeah.
It's a good game now. So the new ones are on top of Vic Viper, Pyramid Head, Simon Belmont. And I think there was another one.
Cool. I'll have to update it. I don't think I've played it since March.
It's, you know what though, I had a lot of fun with it at launch. And I played it a little bit because you can earn gems like local multiplayer now where you couldn't originally. Like the only way you could do it before is just grind story mode over and over, which is terrible. But they upped the amount you get and made it available in story mode, which makes it a lot easier.
Cool. I hadn't even heard about that.
So yeah, if you have a Switch and you're looking for a multiplayer game, Super Bomberman R now highly recommended.
Yeah, dust it off.
Nice to see that happen when it's bad, you know. When the devs care, like presumably it was partially because of shitty reviews at the beginning, and then they
and it was shitty. Like there was control issues, but they fixed the controls. People complained about the money, like the currency, and they fixed that. Like it's, I'm all in. It's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, once the install base grows, they want to keep people buying it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Switches in the wild several times lately, which has been cool. And I ordered a SNES Classic for a friend the other day, which I didn't even think was possible.
Wow.
They sold out in 5 seconds, but I happened to check Twitter 2 minutes before they went on sale, so I was able to get one.
Cool.
It made me think. I actually ordered a couple Black Friday sale games today, but one of them was Soldem for the Switch, which is like the 2 guys made it and they made a physical version. It's like it's a match 3 battle game. I don't know. It was $15, so I heard it was fun. But I hope we see more of that. That Retro City Rampage went on sale today and it sold out instantly. It was like a limited run kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. It's just like, I'm sorry, it's just
Black Friday. Or do you normally do a lot of Black Friday shopping?
I never leave the house for Black Friday. Like, I'm not going to go somewhere, but Best Buy put all their stuff up today. If you're a Elite member, which I think is like if you spend $500 a year or whatever, I get most of my games there. So I ordered. There's a couple Blu-rays I wanted, and that Switch game. That was it. then I got Steep from the GameFly Black Friday sale and Friday the 13th for a PS4. It got down to $9, so I bought it.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard that's pretty. People are still like on the forums and stuff. You see, like there's still active threads for that game. Like people are into that still. So
it's really fun. It's getting tons of updates, and I love that
supporting it.
license. But I was just kind of pinching pennies more when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to set like a $50. I'll spend $50 on Black Friday, whatever, and then that'll be Christmas or whatever. And was able to keep it under there. So some pretty good deals.
Can I say I saw, and I know that it hasn't started yet, like the Black Friday stuff, but Bed Bath & Beyond has
yeah.
Tell me more.
Did you see that? The PS4 1 terabyte gaming console for $229 Canadian. That's
wow.
banana.
What? That's crazy. But it's on a Pro, right?
No, not the Pro, but still, like $230 is nuts.
Yeah, for
That's $100 cheaper than when I picked it up in the summer, and that was already a reduced price. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
I didn't even know they sold video games.
No,
Yeah.
and that's not in store. Like that's well, it's presumably
Beyond.
in store, but online. Yeah, it's the Beyond.
Who knows what else they sell?
PSVR bundles in Canada are gonna be $100 off.
Can you stack your Bye Bye Baby coupon on that?
I don't know what that is.
It's Bed Bath & Beyond coupons.
Like what else? It's Beyond, right? Like maybe
I don't
they
know
sell
what Bed Bath &
dildos
Beyond
too,
is.
or something.
What?
I don't know. Who knows? Could be anything. Maybe they literally sell anything else available.
It sounds like
that
an
you
Adam
can
Sandler movie premise.
You get groceries there.
Yeah, it's one of those things like a secret menu, right? You gotta ask about it. Otherwise they won't.
Ask them for like a slab of meat and they'll go in the back and get it for you.
Yeah, we got that. There's your title.
All right, I'm hungry. I gotta eat. I haven't eaten dinner yet, and I'm dying.
All right.
I have to go eat.
Chris has to make his 10 o'clock sleeping goal too.
Yeah.
I gave up on all my goals.
What? You're doing so well.
I'm a piece of shit.
Sleep for 3 hours, wake up, play an hour of Monster of the Deep, then go back to bed.
Yeah. Well, in the olden days, in the like medieval times, apparently people used to routinely get up in the middle of the night and do stuff and then go back to bed.
But I don't think that they went to bed at 10.
No, that's probably true.
That's the.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see.
Do you have a button that like cuts out all the dead air?
It literally cuts out all the dead air, so it's just a friggin'
4 people, nothing to
Seven
talk
minutes.
about.
consciousness.
Yeah. No, see, dead air is good. Dead air is good. Just not when you talk about it. All right, next week we will definitely talk about Monster of the Deep.
And talk about it. The thing with Ace of Seafood was you're like, yeah, it sucks, 1 star, and then moved on. But the week before that,
it's
that's
not
all we
worth
talked
talking
about for
about.
like a half hour.
Yeah, it's not even worth talking about. It's shit. It's not worth the headspace.
And the pre-order bonus for because I pre-ordered it also for Monster Hunter World is pretty shitty. There's no special music. It's just like a static background that changes. So that's kind of disappointing.
You got the digital one?
Yeah, no icons or anything. Like nothing like the 3DS one for Monster Hunter 4 was cool. It changed all your icons and sound effects and stuff.
Should I go digital? Dump my Amazon pre-order?
Oh, you get digital anyway. Like we already talked about that. Like you're not gonna want to keep putting that. Yeah, it's Monster Hunter, dude.
You almost talked me into it. You were putting that bug in my ear, so I read an article on it, and it's like, oh, they made it way more accessible than all the
No,
old
you gotta play, dude.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't have to play.
You do.
I'm afraid it's going to be the same thing where I love the concept and then
you'll get
try
into it.
to like force my way in like 10 hours and then
you'll get into it. You'll get into it.
How are you going to know without buying it?
It's going to be a blast. You gotta play with us.
I'll buy it in the summer.
How much was it on
No.
on PlayStation Store?
It's probably 60, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the usual price, 79 or something Canadian.
Because look at, there's no tax on that 79.
It is.
No, there's not.
Mm.
No, stores
Best
no
Buy.
tax.
Best Buy online does it. Yeah.
What? No, I'm talking about the PlayStation Store.
Yeah. I got
Like
you.
if you do it digitally, there's no tax, so it's going to cost me 79. But
What's it called? Monster
just-
Hunter World.
yeah,
Yeah.
my pre-order on Amazon $72.
Yeah, just fuck. Just who cares?
Fuck.
Are you
Amazon.
gonna sell it anyway later? Maybe. Who cares? Play
No,
digital.
I'll go digital. I'll jump in.
Preload that shit. No,
What's
Don.
the-
Like seriously, Monster Hunter. Like I understand that you have reservations and that there are some archaic things that prevented you from enjoying it the first time. But from what I understand, they've really dialed all that stuff back and made it like eliminated needless crap, and like it's going to be a lot easier to get into. You're going to be able to get into like hunting the actual bigger monsters a lot quicker. And I don't know. It's going to be like once you get into the meat of a Monster Hunter game, there's very few people I think that would. I think it's the people who get stuck early on when they're still like doing all the training missions and fighting like little monsters that aren't really the main meat of the game, and you don't really get it. Like you don't really get into that. It takes a while to get into the main part, but
I definitely don't get it.
you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Hey, you guys realize that in 3 short weeks, Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus is coming out.
I'm excited. I want to hear about this. I'm excited to play it. Excited to hear about someone else playing it.
Man.
I think that's an ending if I ever heard one.
Hey, Tim, can I borrow that that game that you bought? Did you sell it yet?
What game?
The E7.
No, you can borrow it.
Yeah, you don't mind?
I'm not selling it. I'm gonna finish it eventually. It's fun.
All right. I want to check that out. Maybe over Christmas.
It's cool. It's cool. Good Christmas.
If I'm not busy playing Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Wait.
See you later.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
The
thanks.
update